Yeah, now Matthew, just out of curiosity, what's it like? 2 minutes to go, do you feel it's all left to your players? Is this the ultimate example of where's the players who win games and the coach just sits there and goes, hope this goes right?
Our players did that tonight in the end. Yeah, we did well to hang on in the end because they were coming. But, a couple of big key moments. The guys stood up, Keeney, big intercept mark, then Rob, Alex Nilbullen over a ground ball, just important ones that we will probably rate highly, others might not. But I'll go probably more to the 10 minutes to start the fourth, where we put the game in a position where, in the end, that's why we won it. We'll look at the detail of the last 8 minutes or thereabouts when it's 2-17 inside 50s and we just couldn't get a contest where we needed it. But that'll be some of the really strong learnings that we'll take away from a win, which is just a really nice position to be in.
What did you make of Isaac Ranken's last quarter cameo? Because he was kind of onside for the three-quarter time, then obviously he comes out and almost wins the game with his own dog.
Yep. It's probably one we that's why we love him being on our team, because it wasn't, I think our mids were beaten tonight convincingly. Our coaches did a great job, made a call to go a little earlier with the sub with Berry, get some fresh legs around the footy that wasn't working. That meant we'd take Isaac forward. So we were hoping that's how it played out, and Isaac delivered. And back to your point, Rooch, the players do what they've got to do. They're the ones who win the game. But I was really, really proud of the coaching group when they made that call. Because it wasn't, for whatever reason tonight, and again, we'll dig deeper and have a look. We're up against a great midfield, so, we acknowledge that, but our guys weren't at their best.
Was it so challenging for you to do last week to watch your transition ball was as if you had the whole game on your terms and the ball on the string, but this one was considerably harder for you to get out of defensive 50 beyond the centre line. So what was more challenging this week?
Well, we played an opposition that they pride themselves on their front of centre game, and they're very good, have been for years. I think conditions come into it a little too, like it was quite slippery. It was a territory game that we didn't get right in patches. We overhandballed, and they brought pressure, which we knew they would. And so we sort of invited that pressure a little. But to their credit, they did bring it. So the game wasn't where we wanted it for patches, but there were patches where we did have momentum on our side, and we felt like we capitalised when we needed to. We probably dodged a few bullets where they didn't necessarily capitalise and finish their work off. But that's the game. There's pressure involved in that as well, where they're having shots for goal from. But proud of our guys, because when we had our chances, we took them. And as I mentioned before, that 10 minutes of the last, there's a period there where it's time to win the game. Like, who's going to do it? And I thought our guys stood up.
What does that say about the team that they can win this way? The clearance numbers are massively in Port's favour. It's probably always a bit of an indicator about you. What does it say that you can win this way when you are being beaten up in the midfield so badly?
Well, it's nice to be able to win however you have to win. Like, it's somewhat, these are often called ugly wins. We have enough tonight where we played some really, solid footy. But, from a midfield point of view tonight, it wasn't our best. But, to be able to hang on through that, I thought they put a lot of attention into us through there. They obviously came in with that as a focus, mixed up their on-ball group. And so our guys didn't have the impact maybe they had been having, but we came here tonight to pick up 4 points, and we did it. And I don't care how we do it.
You spoke about it during the week. You spoke about all year about the growing maturity of the group. Is be able to win like this, win a game, win a showdown like that? Is that part of the maturity that you're seeing?
Yeah, and there's still some work to do, but it's part of our growth, and a really pleasing one that we're able to hang on. And maybe in probably previous years we don't hang on in that game, and with a little bit of bad luck tonight, maybe we didn't again. So we're going to dig deep and have a look at it, because we've got to be better than that at the end. But the 10-minute patch gets it done for us, and other quarters there are times where we had our turn as well. So I'm really mindful with these sort of games, and we are as a group, that we don't focus only on where we've got to improve. It was a great win tonight. Team performance where we had a lot of guys not at their best. So, as you mentioned, another way to win.
When did you see some of Leo Barry's thing as a former Swan? He lived very much in Keeney's.
Did I go back that far? Yeah, no, it was. I mean, it was a really telling moment, wasn't it? And then I think Rob followed. There's key moments in games that you've just got to get it done. Where we're always going to focus on the last minute or thereabouts. We go back through the game, there'll be a lot more. There'll be moments where you just say, "Wow, that was a big win half," and we did a great job tonight to get most of them.
So your frustration when 50-metre penalties get given away for the most, what we consider the most minor infractions in this game, is it just a little too harsh, a little too severe the way the game can be umpired at times, officiated, or simply because the rules demand that of the blokes who got the whistle?
I think they're all fair. I actually don't mind the rule. I think if it speeds up the game and it's just around discipline, I got no argument at all on our 50s today. I thought some of them were, again, when we talk about trying to grow and where we need to be better, we had 3 or so in the first early part of the game.
You guys got some horrible grey moments, about what is insufficient intent, but what is a push on a player after he's taken a mark and all that sort of stuff. So,
you're talking about the over the boundary insufficient intent. Oh, that's become a tough area. Yep. There's a little bit with that where sometimes I'm not sure, and it goes both ways. Be nice for us to iron that out a bit.
But I'm just thinking, are we actually then losing what we consider to be the feel of the game, or actually making it more about the game itself rather
It's
than
probably the
rules?
last thing I'm thinking about right now, Reach.
But I noticed your frustration.
There were a couple of times today where I believe the camera went to me and showed some frustration. I may have gone for a walk at one point as well.
Yes, I noticed.
We ask our players to be composed and calm in certain moments, and tonight was a tough one. I'm sure everyone in the stadium was in the same boat. My heart rate was reasonably high at a couple of points, but as I said, the guys did well. I asked them to be calm. We were able to be reasonably calm at the end, although my assistant coaches might say different.
To be fair, I left twice.
Where do you go for a walk in that moment? Where do you go to?
Just anywhere but where I'm sitting at that point.
Phil Riley, I guess,
Yeah.
amazing game for him, especially in the first half. I mean, to have a guy who can take 10 marks on a Lear Lee, how much of a weapon is that?
Yeah, Riley he really looks forward to these big games, and they're big for him. They get talked about a lot. Where in his early part of his career, people were sort of challenging him around what he needed to be better at, and so he went to work. And now he loves it. He embraces the big contest. He had some really tough matchups tonight, and he wanted to show where his improvements have come. I thought he did that, especially as you mentioned, first half. They did a great job second half to change a few things in the game, but he had some really important key contests.
Did you have Healing run with Butters early on, or did
we
spoke about the tag, as being maybe plan B kind of thing? Did you go with Healing run?
Yeah, we had a team focus, but JP was definitely, I think, had a lot of respect for Zach and where his footy's at and how damaging he can be. Tag's an interesting word, like we don't want to be pulled apart with it, but there was a lot of respect shown, and he did his best to try and be around him whenever he could.
Did you have to go to plan B, or were you tempted to go plan B in the third quarter when that Butters especially was really getting on top?
We went to a couple of different plans. Rosie was obviously a deserving Showdown medalist. I think he had 20 at half time. We put a bit of time into him second half. We just felt like he was just too free at times and was damaging us with the ball. And so Zachy Taylor went and did that job. I thought he was great, disciplined. He didn't take him out of the game by any means, but he did a fantastic job for what we were looking for, as did Alex Neil-Bullen at times.
What can you say about?
No, go on.
What can you say about the backline's performance? Obviously, sort of touched on it a little bit, but they did hold on pretty well there in the last 8 or 10 minutes, and Nick Murray's gone out, obviously, but they seem to sort of all be hitting another level since that's happened as well.
Yeah, they've been really good as a group, really strong. I think probably the standouts, Joshy Worrell's form where he's been at, and he deserves the accolades he's getting at the moment. I think he's playing his best footy of his career, no doubt about that. He's doing it because of his teammates, though. They're working together. Isaac coming from the wings really helped us with what he's brought, with his support. So they're in a really good space. Again, still some work on for them, so we'll keep them grounded. But tonight was pleasing. In the end, the inside 50s are all out of whack because of the last 6 to 8 minutes, and one team's basically throwing everything they possibly can, nothing to lose, to try and get back into the game, and we're doing everything we can to hold on. And they were better in that period. So up until that point, I thought it was a pretty good contest. All over. Mids, obviously, they beat us in.
Just big bitch, Matthew. I mean, obviously, the start to the year, you would have taken this win-loss record if offered, I would assume, if offered before the season. But how confident are you now that you can really build on that and press on?
Yeah, we're exactly where we'd like to be from our performances-wise. It does not necessarily win-loss. We've talked about what sort of performance we want as a ground level of what we expect. Our bad performances this year, have been 3-goal loss to Freo over in Perth. We lost to Geelong. So we're in a position where even when we haven't got the outcome we're after, we still come away with a lot of positive. Tonight wasn't our best performance by any means, but we come away with a win. So really pleased about where we're at. The win-loss looks after itself. We now move into what's next. We come against one of the best teams in the comp at the MCG with a reasonably fresh list that had a week off. So they just keep getting bigger and bigger, the challenges, and we lock in on the next one.
Speaking of which, does tonight tell you how much more work you've got to do about the centre corridor, because they're one of the best in that space?
Collingwood or Port?
Collingwood.
Yeah. Oh,
Tonight you didn't look comfortable in that space.
Yeah. I mean, it's an area we do rate ourselves pretty highly in, is our ability to defend the full ground. A lot of that comes off our contest. If we're not quite at the level, and I thought at times they beat us, they outnumbered us back to contest and took us through there tonight. That's one of their weapons. And that's where, Connor Rosie wins the award tonight. He was huge in that, just outnumbering and then rebounding back at you. So, yeah, it's a work on for us off the back of tonight, no doubt.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.